Hello, greetings and welcome. All right, so this next area of training is going to be for internal martial arts and Wing Chun in particular, and how to bridge between athletic approach to Wing Chun to an internal approach to Wing Chun. Now, those of you on the Vimeo channel have covered this pretty extensively. For those of you on YouTube, I haven't addressed it well enough yet. Now, external training requires muscle contraction. The muscles contract and generates load in the body, and then we extend. That's an external approach. An internal approach relaxes the muscle, hangs the muscle, opens the joint, and uses dropping or gravity to produce force. So we drop into the elasticity of our body, we control the shape, and we let the energy recoil out of our own elasticity. And this is how Wing Chun do rebounding or borrowing force, where a person puts the force on, you relax into the elasticity of your body, you absorb that force, and you produce a counter force through the elasticity, absorbing and transferring energy, reticulating the energy through the elasticity, fascia of your body, tendons, ligaments, sinews, everything in your body that's elastic. And this is the internal approach to training. It's how you relax and release the muscle, how you produce the kinetic loading in your body for energy to come out, and how you regulate the feeling of your physical body and the feeling and sensitivity of your mind. So with an external athletic approach, we're seeing how far we can push the body mechanically. With an internal approach, we're looking much more at how do we relax and release the body to transfer more load onto the fascia and use the fascia, tendons, and ligaments to let gravity pass through, control gravity through dropping and producing forces. Very different. Okay, so let's look at some exercises for developing this skill. I'll go sideways. What we want to do, feet parallel. If you're using a pigeon-toed stance, make sure that your femur is in line with your toes. Avoid pinning the knees inwards. You wreck your knees. That's kind of common sense. Get the back relatively straight. Put the hands up. What I want you to do is to relax from your fingers, stretch the wrist open, hang the muscles on both sides of the wrist. Stretch the elbow open, hang the muscles both sides of the elbow. Stretch the shoulders open, hang the muscles both sides of the shoulder. Drop the hips, stretch the spine, and then relax all the way down to the ground. And your stance is going to drop just a few inches. Now from the ground, press your feet into the ground, just relax your pelvis and mass a little bit forward to activate through the ball, calf, quad, lower back, chest, tricep, and just stretch out. And then relax from the hands back down to the ground, and then out again. Down and out, down and out. And we end up with a Chum-Q circular pattern, drawing down and then releasing out, down and releasing out. So this stretching out from the fingers and down and back, and then out and down and back, out, down and back, out and down and back, opens up the joints. It creates a feeling of waving mass through your body and creating kinetic loading. Now, if let's say I want to generate a force, I just do that quickly. And the same Chum-Q circle in the beginning of the Chum-Q form, we're stretching and drawing in and out. Do it small to start with. We don't want any big muscle activations. If the muscle flexes and has too much flexion, the muscles contract. So there's small stretching out and drawing it in. Stretching out, drawing it in. Stretching out, drawing it in. So this basic exercise, some people demonstrate it as a power stretch. Just stretch, open the joints, make everything longer, and then bring it back in. Very easy to get an extra 3 inches of stretch on opening your joints. So that's a typical Wing Chun joint control training exercise. The waving up and down the body give you potential in space to kinetically load mass into your fascia to slingshot the force out. If I drop down fast, I have energy coming out. So there's upward and downward waving exercise like you see in the beginning of the Chum-Q form. It's really a secret for fascia power. It's a very intelligently designed exercise. Every movement in Wing Chun, you have to question, is there something else the founders of the art were looking at? Or is it just some type of martial technique? And yes, lots of them are martial techniques, and some of them are fascia development, joint opening exercises. So you need to look at how to train and get maximum value out of each exercise. Repetitive loops are far more efficient than extended sequences. So when we look at this movement, by stretching and extending in and out as a repetitive loop, we go deeper and deeper across the joint opens, relax and hang the muscle, the body stretching. And it doesn't take too long before you go, oh, I can produce all these dropping powers in my body by just simply waving mass up and down through the kinetic, elastic fascia lines of my body. So these fascia lines are super, super important. They follow the muscles. Every muscle fiber is wrapped with fascia. So the tendon, ligaments, muscle lines are your fascia lines. And we want to open and stretch them and close them and get them to load with energy and produce kinetic waves. So this internal exercise from the Chun Q form, where you're pumping mass up and down through the fascia, and then you start putting that into different hand techniques and you get the springiness in your body. That springiness is really the heart of Wing Chun power. I'm not sure why they left it until Chun Q to introduce this exercise, but it is one of the key secrets to Wing Chun power. How you get this drop and this rotation, and how you get the stretch, and how it produces Jin, how it produces power. Okay, thank you for your time, and see you on the next video.